We're here with Stephen and Michele Devlin of MacDev Financial today to talk a little bit about critical illness insurance and why it's so important. Only 1 out of 6 Canadians actually are aware of what critical illness insurance is. So Stephen, maybe describe to us what it is and why it's so important to have.
Thank you, Tess. Critical illness is so important. It's an insurance policy that will pay out a lump sum of money tax-free if diagnosed with a life-altering illness, which will cover up to 25 illnesses. The big 3, we all know: cancer, heart disease, and stroke. And if you're diagnosed and this benefit is paid out, it'll help you to cover expenses, it'll help you take time off to recover, it can pay for medical travel and expenses.
That's great. So when Michele had cancer, Stephen had critical illness insurance,
Right, yeah.
but Michele didn't.
Right.
And how did that impact you guys professionally?
Well, professionally, we're in the business, so you would expect me to have critical illness, but unfortunately, I was not eligible for it. We did look and we searched everywhere to find coverage for me, but because of previous illnesses, I didn't qualify. So when I was diagnosed with cancer, we didn't receive that lump sum. So it's hard enough to have that kind of a diagnosis, and it was quite serious. It was stage 3B colorectal cancer. And you're worried about yourself, you're worried about your family, and then I have a business to worry about as well. So I knew that we didn't have the time or the resources just to stop and hire somebody to even help out, even just as an assistant. So for me, that was an extra worry. While I ended up spending more than the 5 days and some chemo for a few months, I ended up sick for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And as CEO, I'm effectively taken out of the corporation. So it would have been just that little bit extra to give us that security and the resources that we could have used at that time.
Wow. Steve, how did it affect you personally when Michele didn't have critical illness insurance?
Difficult and very emotional to talk about, obviously, when the woman of your life, who you love so much, and really the brains in our company, she's amazing, you know. It was hard for me to keep working, even though she was saying, hey, you got to go on this trip, you got to do this and that. I was feeling bad about not being in the hospital enough or being around my son as much as I like to help him with that whole process. So personally for me, it would have been so amazing if we had that money, right?
Yeah,
to help our whole process. Yeah. We're survived and we're strong, but definitely it's a key part of any financial plan.
Thanks so much, you guys, for sharing your story and the importance of having critical illness insurance. I hope people find this video resourceful and will consider purchasing it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Tess.